So I just want you to know that there was a witness testifying. That's why I thought it's important, which will potentially, if you determine it, require the jury to have their notes, if you require it taken away and then wiping out what they heard. I just want you to be aware of that.
Okay, I'm not sure if I follow what you're saying now.
So holy macadamia nut, Nation. The YSL RICO case happening in Fani Willis, Cash Money G's district, has gone through some unbelievable changes, transmogrifications. I mean, everything has been upended. And now they just filed a new motion, which I'm going to go over, to prevent the defense from speaking to the media. Now take a second to just kind of let that sort of register. Cash Money G, Fani Willis, the same district attorney who spoke egregiously about cases on repeated occasions at a black church, at a rally, campaign event, interview, press conference, how many instances she has alluded to the case, defiled and polluted a potential jury pool, has now filed a motion to prevent the defense from talking to the media. I mean, the audacity is insane. But I just have to say this, buckle up, because we have a lot to cover. Everything that's been happening over the last week or so has felt so Matrix-esque. It's still, to this day, I still can't believe that our president, there was an actual assassination attempt on our president, and people aren't still just completely aghast by that. I am. I still haven't recovered. So it's been very, very difficult for me to cover a lot of different things. I only have so much bandwidth, right? So there's a lot of developments in this YSL RICO case. Now, we all know there's a brand new judge, Judge Whitaker. Judge Suge Knight Glanville, gone, right? There was another judge that was assigned. She's gone. She was like, I'm out of here. I don't want anything to do with this. Now we have Judge Whitaker, who was just in that clip saying, I'm not following what you're saying. And I'm going to cover some clips of this new judge. I actually really like this new judge. I think this new judge, I've looked at her track record. I've looked at her background. I've talked a little bit about this. I'm going to share some clips kind of how she sort of put her foot down on a lot of things that happened during Judge Suge Knight's reign, and everything up to date. But let's check out first. So stick around for that. You're going to love these clips, especially, oh, this one's good. She talks specifically about the attorneys. That includes Chief Deputy District Attorney Love, who works for Cash. This is all Cash Money G, all Fani Willis's district attorney's office. Direct rulings, comments about the level of professionalism moving forward from all attorneys involved. But we all know who she's really talking about. Okay, but first, this is the brand new motion that was filed, date July 23rd, 2024, right before the deadline, as always. Do they ever do anything efficiently in Fulton County? Do they ever do anything? I mean, it seems like everything is at the very, very last second when it comes to Cash Money G's Fulton County District Attorney's Office. I mean, 4:41 p.m. The deadline to file all of these things is 5 p.m. I mean, they're minutes, 19 minutes before the deadline. Okay, so let's check out this new ruling by the prosecution. So the state's motion to restrict extrajudicial statements, the audacity of this woman. I mean, Cash Money G, Fani Willis, have you no shame? Have you zero shame? You're going to actually file a motion to restrict extrajudicial statements coming from you? Miss, they don't want me to talk about race, but I'm going to talk about race. I'm going to do it anyway. I mean, there's two things I just, on a real serious note, everybody, there's two things I just want to say right now, because this also relates to, I think, the worst thing that could ever happen to the United States of America, our esteemed republic, Kamala Harris. It relates to Kamala Harris. These people there's either two things happening. Either one, they have a serious diminished capacity, which I'm willing to concede, or two, their brazen shamelessness can only be justified by the fact that they are included, they are clued in, they are protected somehow by this elitist consortium led by Clinton and Obama. Knowing that there's zero accountability, they can just do whatever they want to do. Now, I tend to think more of the latter, although it might be both. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Comes now the state of Georgia. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Comes now the state of Georgia moves this honorable court to instruct the defense to refrain from making further extrajudicial statements about this case moving forward. Georgia Rule of Professional Conduct Rule 3.6 prohibits lawyers participating in litigation from making extrajudicial statements as a reasonable person would believe to be disseminated by means of public communication if the lawyer knows or reasonably should know that it will have a substantial likelihood of materially prejudicing an adjudicative proceeding in the matter. Talk about calling the pot, calling the kettle black. Are you kidding me right now? That is literally all you have done. That is why the GOAT, the pit bull, Steve Sadow, has filed time and time again that the case against Trump and 18 other defendants in the Cash Money G case should be a mistrial. That is why the appellate courts are considering the disqualification of Fani Willis, because all you have done is engaged in exactly what you're claiming and what you want the defense not to. You have exacted prosecutorial misconduct and prejudiced multiple potential gene pools time and time again. You have you have the balls to file this motion? This is nuts. A relevant factor in determining prejudice in the nature of the proceeding involved. With a criminal jury, trial begins being the most sensitive to extrajudicial speech. The character, what about a high-profile case, the first ever case brought against a former president? How about that? That's not something being the most sensitive to extrajudicial speech, you gigantic hypocrite. And that's my new name for the Democrats now. I don't call them the Democrats because they're not the Democrats. The Democrats that I grew up with, literally the Democrats that I grew up with now would be considered far right-wing extremists. What you see now in this party, this is the hypocrites. This is the radical, extreme left of Lenin, anti-American woke mafia. Literally. I'm not even hyperbole here. Literally. The character, credibility, reputation of a party, and my opinion as to the guilt and any opinion as to the guilt or innocence of a defendant are subjects deemed to be more likely prejudicial effect on a criminal, more likely to have a material prejudicial effect on a criminal proceeding. You are talking about yourself. This whole entire motion is self-projection personified. Defense counsel have made numerous, oh really, what about you? Extrajudicial statements explicitly about this case while the jury is sworn and seated during the state's case in chief. Defendant Williams' counsel, attorney Brian Steele, and Keith Adams, defendant Kendrick's counsel, attorney Doug Weinstein, and defendant Stillwell counsel, attorney Max Shart, have all made extrajudicial statements to the media explicitly discussing this case in violation of Rule 3.6. The extrajudicial statements have included, among other things, interviews and statements to the Associated Press. 4 of those interviews have been 25, 33, 43, and 107 minutes in length. The statements include, among other things, the attorney's views and opinions about the case itself, opposing counsel, the now former judge, the jury, the outcome, and the guilt or innocence of specific defendants. Pursuant to this, courts have the power to control in the furtherance of justice. I can't believe these guys are actually making a motion on ethics violations. This is not even reality. This is not even surreality. We're in another universe, folks. Our country, that's why I keep saying that this next election is the most consequential moment in our history, in the United States American history since 1861. Why? because whatever happens moving forward after November could literally determine whether our republic stands or falls. I'm not being hyperbolic. And I'm not talking about civil war. I'm not talking about violence, looting. I'm not talking about that. I am talking about the very fabric of our society built upon the Constitution, embedded by the vision of our forefathers and the framers. The state thus moves this honorable court to instruct the defense to refrain from making extrajudicial statements about this case moving forward, submitted the 23rd day by Adrian Love. Adrian Love makes Cash Money G. Willis look like a kitten. She is the most abominable, DEI unqualified. I don't know how this woman got an attorney's. How did she pass the bar? Probably cheated. How is she an attorney? I have no idea. Did she even graduate law school? Probably not. It's just absolutely insane. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think that this is warranted? Do you think that this is a justified motion? Look at what the exhibits. So Exhibit A, let me look at this with you guys. So Exhibit A is below you'll find Brian Steele's statement regarding the recusal order. Jeffrey Williams is innocent of the charges brought in this indictment, and to clear his name, he sought a speedy trial, one in which he would receive the constitutional guarantees of a fair trial with an impartial judge presiding and ethical prosecutors following the law. What is extrajudicial about that? What is egregious about that? What violates ethic? Everything he's saying is 100% true. It's 100% within the guidelines of ethics. This is what our justice system is founded upon, the objective truth. He's literally talking the objective truth. Sadly, Judge Glanville and the prosecutors have run afoul of their duties under the law. Mr. Williams is grateful that the reviewing court agreed with him and entered the order recusing and disqualifying Judge Glanville. That's Judge Suge Knight. We look forward to proceeding with the trial judge who will fairly and faithfully follow the law. That's your exhibit? What a joke. That's a post on X too, by the way. What a joke. Exhibit B, Young Thug's attorney speaks out on Glanville recusal. It's a YouTube video. Exhibit C, the Associated Press reached out to Glanville. While I respect, a spokesperson for Willis's office declined to comment. These are pathetic. Now, I haven't seen any of these YouTube videos that the prosecution is displaying as evidence and exhibits to prove or strengthen their argument in this motion. Having talked to the GOAT, the Pitbull Steve Sadow, from what he's told me, and the reason why he won't come on our show yet, he will, by the way, is because of this ongoing investigation. But that's not really the point here. And I'm sure these attorneys, I don't know, just based on everything that, from what I saw from Brian Steele, that to me had no bearing. That would not have influenced any jury. To me, that doesn't violate any prejudicial misconduct. But it's just the hypocrisy is what I feel is just absolutely the most egregious, being that Cash Money G has talked repeatedly, not once, not twice, not three times, like multiple times in interviews, press conferences, at churches, at events, many times, that Trump is awful. He's against black people. He should be guilty. He cheated. He stole an election. That is what we call prejudicial misconduct. That is why the appellate courts are seeing this case. Okay, I promised you some clips of this new judge, Judge Whitaker, who is now presiding over the case. Now, the jury still has not been in the courtroom yet. They're just literally, she's basically playing catch up in layman's terms and trying to figure out, what are some pending motions? What are some things that we need to clean up before we can begin this trial? To me, she seems highly efficient, highly organized, highly professional. I think this case is going to wrap up way sooner than most expected. If Judge Whitaker gets her way, which she's the presiding judge, I don't see why she wouldn't unless there's another motion. Who knows? The prosecution might file a motion to recuse Judge Whitaker because this case is an absolute kangaroo court. Of course, it takes place in Fulton County. But I want to show you a few clips, and then I promised you I would share with you a clip where she directly pointedly, as a matter of fact, discusses with the lawyers present, prosecution and defense, about moving forward what she expects. Having seen what's happened in the past with Judge Shugnight, she directly confronts the issue of professional conduct in the courtroom. So stick around. That video is amazing. But let's check out this clip to give a quick taste of Whitaker's vibe, energy, and professionalism moving forward. This is where she talks about she doesn't want to go back and forth and open a bunch of things that happened in the past. Check this out.
I am not going to go back. I mean, this case has been going on for how long? 6 months, at least the trial part of it. And obviously I'm parachuting in and I'm just going to have to pick up from here and move forward. I cannot go back and reconsider every evidentiary ruling that's already been made. And I don't think that's what you're asking. I think you're saying because this witness is still on the stand. But I don't know, Mr. Botts, if you were about to say, let's reconsider everything, but we're not going to be able to do that.
Okay, this is another interesting, I love Judge Whitaker, how she does this. She starts kind of going through the ground rules. I mean, it doesn't, I don't find this surprising or shocking at all, given the fact that Judge Shugnight's courtroom, and this is Cash Money G's Fulton County, was a hot mess. This is her kind of talking about sort of something that seems like it should be common sense. It seems like something that shouldn't even be brought up. But literally, this is about professional decorum. Check this out.
We do start back with the jury. I'm thinking 8:45 to 6. And when I say 8:45, I mean 8:45. I intend to take the bench at 8:45. I expect I know that the parties, the defendants will be here because the sheriff's office will have them here. I want all the attorneys to be here as well.
Here she is talking about new ground rules. Listen to this.
I'm not even sure if I understand exactly what has gone on with this, but the defendants listening through earpods to things on laptops while court is going on. And I'm not sure I understand why that's happening. And that raises some security issues with our security staff, with the sheriff's office. So can somebody kind of explain to me what that's about and why that's necessary? And if nobody wants to, then we'll just do away with it.
I love it.
I think it was originally combat boredom.
All right. Well, we won't be bored from here on out. So then if that's the only reason for it, I want to be moving forward efficiently and expeditiously. So let's just plan to not have that happen anymore.
Can you believe that? Bored. I mean, this is what Judge Shugnight Glanville, who definitely was appointed or somehow through the back channels, Cash Money G has everything, every link, every connection to Judge Glanville. He has been biased this entire time. I mean, this whole trial should be a mistrial. It should be a mistrial. I'll talk about those motions as well in just a second. Here's the video we've all been waiting for. So here is the video where Judge Whitaker pointedly confronts all the attorneys present, but I know she's really talking about Miss Love, that chief deputy district attorney right there in the pink. This is where she talks about professional conduct in the courtroom. Take a listen to this.
So I hesitate to even say the next thing I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. The little bit I have seen about this case, it definitely has appeared that there have been times that tempers have flared a whole lot and that people have been maybe less than professional. And I hope that this kind of breather has given everybody a breather, and everybody has been absolutely wonderful here today. But I would like for us to maintain a degree of decorum and dignity and professionalism. That is what is really expected of all of us as members of the bar. I don't want to have to say anything beyond that. Okay. But if it gets to a point where I think that is not being carried out appropriately, we're going to all have to talk. Okay.
I like her. I like her. My initial reaction to the new judge, I like her a lot. I like her energy. I like her dignity. I like her class. I like her sophistication. I love her track record. She has without getting too involved in it, this is already too long of a video, she has a track record that exemplifies efficiency, getting things done on time, meeting deadlines, and really being a consummate professional. Now, what those clips that you saw right there happened last week, and essentially there's no jury present. This is literally just Judge Whitaker's first impressions, first introduction to the lawyers, to the attorneys, to the TV, to us. And she's literally playing catch up and just basically cleaning up any ancillary matters before the jury gets asked to return and trial really begins. And she hasn't ruled on any of the filings, any of the motions, the motion that we just covered, the motion that we just covered by the prosecution to prevent or go against the defense's abilities to speak outside any extrajudicial communications. She hasn't ruled on that. Now, Steele has filed a motion, as well as other defendants with who Steele represents Young Thug, the main kind of proponent or defendant in this case, has filed a motion for mistrial. The judge has not ruled on that. So she hasn't ruled on really anything. From what I understand from my sources, she will rule on this in the coming week. And then the jury will be asked to come back. And so there is still a potential. And based on all the impropriety and the appearance of impropriety and the egregious manner that this case really was launched, carried out, executed by Cash Money G, Fani Willis's district, I don't see any reason that this trial shouldn't be a mistrial, but I have a feeling it's going to continue. I would love to get your thoughts on this. But you know your boy Nez is always going to keep you in the loop, always going to keep you abreast of the latest, what's happening. You don't have to go anywhere else. This is your one-stop shop. Please tap that thumbs up because it helps us reach more people. An informed citizenry makes informed decisions, which benefit all of us. And so I'll let you know first thing I hear on any of these rulings, on these motions, and anything else that you need to know. But I throw this off to you. What are your thoughts? What do you think of the judge? What do you think of Judge Whitaker? What do you think of this motion by Adrienne Love, the district chief, Cash Money G's minions? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I can't wait to hear from you. As always, if you made it this far, in the pinned comment, show notes, and description down below is our free newsletter. Become a Nez Nation Insider. It's free. It's your sure-proof way of never missing out on all the latest breaking that the woke propagandist media machine won't share with you. And so that's easy and it's free. Just give us your best email and you're in. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right now. Follow, subscribe right there. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.